All right, guys. So this is the finale for this Paladin 3K fiasco. So, a couple of things that I realized. One is that meta chasing is stupid, obviously. Two is Paladins are completely capable of doing all the content right now. Now, arguably, this week is a weird week for keys because you're getting a mix of people who are actually trying to get rating or people who are crest hopping because we got uncapped crest, which I don't know. It's a mixed bag. I've had groups where the DPS are cool and they're legit and everything's all good, but I've had groups where they act like fucking man babies and they get butthurt over nothing and they just ignore mechanics because I don't know reasons. Now, speaking from like a more seasoned tank, I will say Paladin has its moments where it feels a little bit squishy, but not really that bad. It's not nearly what the people doing pugs would have you believe. I mean, most people think Paladin just falls over. That's not the case. If they're falling over, it's because they're fucking up. That's just the way it is. They have some benefits going for them. I actually really liked it. You're kind of this like Swiss Army knife in a pug setting because you can really make up for people like not using. They're not using defensives. You can make them take you using a defensive with, blessing and sacrifice. You can really look out for your healer. You got lay on hands, and in Lightsmith you have all those benefits. Blessing of freedom is useful in I would say 6 out of 8 keys. We have in Marsara, in Pitaceran, in Magisteris, and Seat. I can go on and on about ones where it's useful. So, and it's a relatively short cooldown, like a minute. It's definitely useful. This was my first 13. I wasn't sure how it was going to go, but everything went fine. Timed it just fine. It has its moments where it feels a little bit squishy, but overall, no issues. I mean, it's a good time. So if you're a newer player and you're thinking about it, I would definitely recommend Paladin. It's a solid one. It's not complicated at all. If you don't want to use click, you can use Blizzard's default click casting thing, which is really nice for B-res, for bops, whatever. You do good damage. You're tanky enough. I mean, it's not like a druid or a monk at the moment because they're incredibly durable at the moment, but they're plenty capable. You don't have to be a meta tank to be competitive. You can do all this stuff. I mean, we have paladins doing 22s, doing 20s. Doesn't matter. So I really want to see you guys go out there and play what you want to play. Don't let the don't let people who are playing meta or, I get the decline keys a lot where I've been just running my own key. Just because it's faster for me than to sit here and try to, because you're at this point I was under 3K and there is, I only want a druid, or I only want a monk. And before druid got buffed, it was I only want a monk. That's just the way it was. Let me trying to think of cons during this challenge. Just your usual typical stuff. You're gonna get DPS who are being rude to each other. Everybody in this key was relatively nice. When I ran Petaceran, there was a Death Knight who was super butthurt. He was pinging every 5 minutes. Petaceran, I'd argue, is probably one of the easiest keys, but by a decent margin. Outside of Windrunner, it's probably the easiest key. So Yeah. Cons. I mean, the cooldowns are so short that it's hard to really say anything negative here. Outside of it requiring a decent amount of APM and but anytime that I've done a pull, anytime I've gone into a pull, like I always have buttons I can push. There's always some answer for the situation. I guess if you really wanted to pinpoint a con, it would be the consecrate requirement, but also not, because consecrate doesn't have a cooldown and you can just cast it whenever. So when you move it, just put it down again. And when you leave consecrate, you still have its benefit for, I think, 4 seconds. I'd say that my Sorrow is probably my weakest dungeon. I do this one the least. I just don't enjoy it very much. But it's honestly not that bad, especially on Paladin. With a Paladin, you're able to interrupt so much. Like, I've had keys where the other DPS are interrupting like 2-3 times a key, maybe. And I don't even feel it because I always have that kick without a need, you have. And Divine Toll is such a fun button to push. Like, it really is. It's like a really satisfying ability. It's not uncommon to do like 100, 200k on a big AoE pull, on like a lust pull. And I'm sure, other people are running, like crit wings and stuff. I don't. I've always been a more like defensive tank. I always prefer to try to make the healer's life as easy as possible. So I will typically run tanking talents versus damage talents. But if you wanted to, you absolutely could run crit wings. You'd lose defensive capabilities from Sentinel, but you absolutely could. But I don't have a hard time gathering. I feel like I always have speed boost when I need it. Like when I play my Death Knight, like that was always my biggest problem with Death Knight, was I always felt like I was struggling to move. That's why, like a Bumlin was so nice on Death Knight, because you didn't necessarily have to run all over Darny and a gather. But the Paladin, I mean, you bubble taunt, which is amazing for certain big scary pulls. And I mean, I'm not even playing a dwarf. If I was a dwarf, it would be even better. But if you really wanted to go min maxi on your prop pally, you could absolutely go make it a dwarf to get rid of bleeds. Dark Iron has the ability to get rid of bleeds too, I believe. So yeah, it's solid. You have a poison and disease cleanse if you need it for a couple dungeons. That's useful. Mainly like Windrunner is a good one for it. Pedicera is a good one for it. There's a few others I just, off the top of my head, I can't really think about it. But Holy Power Generation is pretty easy. And at the current moment, it's very easy to gear, and I don't rate at all. So this is purely from doing keys. With how gearing is at the moment, it's a very smooth process. So I think I went at the end of the first week of this, I was like I want to say 274 or something like that. And now my Paladin's like 283. So yeah, definitely if you're a newer tank or you're trying to get into it, it's a solid choice. I definitely would recommend. I was a little nervous at the beginning of this because I hadn't played a prop pally since Warlords of Draenor. But yeah, it's solid. It does have a little bit more buttons than the other classes, but not by much. I mean, we're not talking 2-button druid tanking. We're talking 4 or 5 buttons, but it's definitely manageable. So, and you can cheese a lot of mechanics with bubble, a lot of them. So, but other than that, guys, that's all I got. So, that's another one in the books. I am debating if I want to do the warrior or not right now. But we're going to be working on some guides for complete new tanks that aren't min-maxi guides, that are just teaching the basics of how to tank correctly and what you can expect. And then do like a very how to read talents, how to assess what talents to take, that all those good things. So other than that, guys, that's it. All right, bye.